So a quick overview of this new model, roll-up and M&A strategy model. Um, the goal of this model is to illustrate how the value drivers in a roll-up strategy add up to create investors' value. This model allows you to plug in several, up to 10 or 11 different acquisitions. Plug in your pricing, plug in financing options and use of debt, and see how it impacts the value drivers. That means multiple arbitrage, EBITDA growth in time, in case you have planned for synergies in terms of revenue in your combined group, synergies for EBITDA margin, repaid debt, and excess cash or use of revolving credit line. So these acquisitions, they come from your list of opportunities. Each row represents one possible acquisition. You plug in or you fill in revenue, EBITDAs, growth. The label says ARR, but it's practically the same as revenue growth for our use. Then there are a few valuation matrices, that means revenue multiple, EBITDA multiple, and then any other valuation for enterprise value that you want to plug in. It's labeled DCF, but it doesn't have to be DCF, it's just your estimate of the value of the company. It can come from a different model, whatever you need. And then there is synergies for EBITDA margin and for revenue. The details are explained in the notes, as you can see. And the model entirely is annotated so that you can understand what to fill in where. Right here you see that these two rows are already plugged in the model. And if I want to add another one, what I would do is just pick another from the list of opportunities. I would say, let's say that we plan to acquire this in the fiscal 27 for EBITDA multiple, and we will, like all these loans, they will be for 5 years, and all will be at 5% interest rate. We will have 60% debt to asset covenant, and let's say 3.5 times debt coverage ratio. That allows us to have another, let's say 25 million of debt, out of which we're only going to use 3 million, so that it's fully funded with debt. And what I see is that here is an error. Yes, and practically this tells me that I have an enterprise value of a company of 12 million, but I've accidentally put in debt used for the transaction at 45. So I have to reduce it by 12 to fix this and make the model calculate everything properly. Up here on the right side of the model, I can put in the assumptions for exit. So we will exit at, let's say, 12 times multiple in 2032, and it will be EBITDA multiple. The value creation waterfall shows that based on my inputs, this is the value of the multiple arbitrage, EBITDA growth in time, and so on. What I can see in the chart down here on the left is how the value is created through the different acquisitions. So I see that the highest impact is by the add-on company number 2, out of which the multiple arbitrage makes most of the value. That means we've probably bought this company very efficiently. There is also a cash flow chart that's a little more detailed explanation, but just quick overview. You can plug in capex and depreciation and amortizations, and in case you used capex, it will be shown on the cash flow charts here as well. And in case for example, what could happen is that you would theoretically be required to repay all the debt in 2 years, or maybe even 1 year, just for the sake of explaining how this works. What I'll do is add some more debt here. And what this shows is that the EBITDA of these companies didn't generate enough cash, so you were forced to draw down the revolving credit line. These are the gray bars up here that provided some cash flow, and then you were repaying this. I see that there's some kind of an error in the model right now. I'm not sure what that might be. The issue is that I haven't used any equity. Okay, so I'll put another guardrail here. Let's just reduce it to 40 million debt used in the acquisition of the platform. Now the model is okay. We see that we have the IRR at near 30%, money over invested capital 6.1. Here is a simplified P&L, EBITDA, EBIT, EBT, net income, and simplified cash flows. The last sheet has charts. These are the same ones as in the dashboard. On top there is one that's showing the breakdown of enterprise value. And that's basically it. One more thing, what I'm doing now is changing an EBITDA for the acquisition. I don't do on another screen, and I'll put a negative EBITDA in there. And of course the model breaks because you cannot buy a company at negative EBITDA multiple. So what we have to do is change this to revenue, and the same goes for exit. So we have to model revenue with exit multiple that would be probably lower. And again, the model is working well. So that's just to show that there are notifications in case something does not make sense and needs practically you to change a few inputs. Of course, it's not everywhere. It's just the major things that the model will warn you about.